Hello, I'm Ariana. I'm your favorite Chic Geek, and welcome to SmartWorks. If you're new or you're just returning from a long time, welcome to my channel. This is a channel where we talk about project management, productivity, and overall life and time management hacks, because we could all use a little more time in the day. So today I want us to talk about AI because it is a trending topic and a lot of people are making a lot of claims who may or may not have the background to back it up. So if you haven't seen my video about who am I and what are my credentials, I encourage you to watch that video on my channel. But I am someone with a technology degree and I'm one of the 2% of women, Black women working in the technology corporate field for the past 8 years. So I know this video sparked in my mind because of something I'm noticing happening at work a lot, which is like really frustrating me as both an AI aficionado and as a productivity obsessed person. AI is neither good nor bad. It's a tool. But if you're using it, it should be used in a way that makes you more efficient at what you do, not less efficient. So the reason that I'm bringing this up and creating this video is because I had a conversation with someone I work with, and he was doing a task that is very common for project and program managers to do, which is to create a deck or a PowerPoint for an executive presentation. I would say this is anywhere from a 3-hour task, at least for the first draft, and then of course you'll send it for reviews and revisions. This person proceeded to tell me that they had been working on this deck for 3 full business days because they were trying to use AI to do the deck. So what spawned in my head is, okay, a light bulb went off that some people don't understand. I think a lot of people don't understand because the media makes AI seem like a magic bullet. A lot of people don't understand, one, the different types of AI, and two, the fact that there are some things that AI is really good at, and it is your secret weapon. But there are some things, a lot of things actually, that AI is really bad at, and it can become a hindrance to you doing your job. So not only do we not need to fear AI taking our jobs, because when we get into the things it's bad at, you'll see why. We also want to be mindful of not doing our job as well because we're trying so hard to use AI. So one thing I like to always tell people when they ask me about AI is I don't think AI will take anyone's job. I think the people who are really good at using AI will have the highest paid jobs and be a hot commodity for the foreseeable future. So let's get into the topic of what AI is good at and what AI is not bad at. Also, I think it would be really fun if we shared some of our horror stories and talk about the shortcomings of AI in the comments. So let me know if there's something that you're like, oh my gosh, thank you for saying this, because I tried to use AI for this thing and it took me so long that I just end up doing it myself. A good rule of thumb is if it's taking you longer than it would if you didn't use AI, just don't use AI, right? And AI can be a productivity tool, but there's a large learning curve. So you have to put in quite a few hours in research and practice and getting used to the tools before you can be that person who can just like throw something together in a few minutes. But I digress enough. Let's get into the topic of what is AI good at and what is AI not so good at. Which I do think it will be getting better at some of these things in the future because that's the nature of AI. But here we are focused on productivity, and one of the best things you can do to make your time as efficient as possible is to use the right tool at the right time for the right task. I like that. Okay, First, let's start with the things AI is good at. Like I said, I love AI. I use AI every day now. If not, it's because it's a weekend and I'm hanging out with my friends and not working. But even still, like I help them with like travel plans and stuff like that. So I love using AI for certain things. In my opinion, the number one thing AI is good at, or that I love using it for, is summarizing information. So this can be anything from, hey, you can feed, and I'm talking about, let's say Gemini, which is a large language model, for instance. Gemini, ChatGPT, and Claude are all in the same group of large language models. Let's say you're using Gemini and you're like, hey, explain this article to me like I'm a fourth grader. Great use of AI. One thing I did at work recently was we had some corporate compliance training coming up, and you know how you have to go through the module and everything. It was like a 67-page document. I did not have time. I kept putting it off on my calendar. You know, they send you all the automated emails. It was the last few hours of the last day to finally submit it without being late. And I said, you know what? Let me just download this thing, upload it into Notebook LM, and tell me, what the heck do I need to know? Sometimes you have to scour through a whole 70-page document and sign your name on it, and you only needed to know one paragraph out of 2 sections. So I put it into the AI. I said, this is my job, this is my health. It was like health related. This is my health level, activity level. What is this? Explain to me, what is this document talking about, and why should I care? And it explained to me the policies, the updates. There was some things that are really good to know because my company actually has really good benefits and certain things they're offering as leaves and medical leaves and things like that. So that took a maybe 2-hour task down to 5 minutes, because I went back and forth with it, and it asked me some questions about my health, and I responded, and it said, okay, well, might want to take your attention to this section, that section, blah, blah, blah. If you sign it, you're just giving consent for this, you're not giving consent for that. So summarizing information, great, love AI for that. Another thing that AI is good at is generating ideas. So I have a laptop with Microsoft Copilot built in. I bought this laptop specifically for Microsoft Copilot built-in features. It's so great for my business, for generating ideas. If I have a writer's block, or I need to edit some copy that my copywriter sent me, but I'm just like, this is what I'm trying to get at. She doesn't understand the technical parts of what I do, like help us bridge the gap. It's great at that. It'll give me some ideas. It gives me great ideas for YouTube content. It helped me give me ideas for how to package my professional services and market myself. I used Microsoft Copilot to create the mood board that I sent to my graphic designer of what exactly I want my website to look like and feel like and give. And it ate that all the way down. Like I told it, I was like, you ate with that, and it was like, period. And I was like, see you tomorrow. So definitely generating ideas, creativity, and things like that. Now, one thing is, it's garbage in, garbage out. So you have to become someone who has an extensive vocabulary, and you have to become someone who really knows what they want in order for generating ideas to work. Otherwise, it can send you down a rabbit hole and get you very far from what is on brand for you if you don't exactly know what you want or have the language to describe it. So that's the only caveat with generating ideas. Third use of AI, as a project manager and undiagnosed OCD person, organizing data. I would say summarizing info and organizing data are probably tied for the top 1 use of how I use AI in my day-to-day life. Like literally anything from having a meeting with a director of our enterprise applications team, using Gemini to take Gemini notes of the meeting, because this is so far out of my domain. Half of the acronyms I don't understand. asking the questions that are project management focused in the conversation, and I can only focus on that while Gemini takes the notes. Then after the meeting, I'll go in and I'll say, okay, list out a bulleted list of the critical requirements for me, and then a bulleted list of the tasks nested underneath those critical requirements, and organize that into a project plan in chronological order. It will pump it out every time. It'll pump it out every time. Another thing I did was we were looking at a contract to get an external vendor on to manage and do the work for one of the projects that I was speaking to with the same director. And we wanted to have an idea of what is a realistic number so we could come to the negotiating table with as much leverage as possible. So what I did was I took one of the old contracts where we had got a quote for a similar project before. I put it into Gemini, and I asked Gemini, pull out the requirements, and then I asked it to organize this into what teams or domains need to complete these tasks. Because what that enabled me to do was prioritize it based off of, okay, I know in our company, this team, and this team has capacity to take on the work from this project, but these two teams don't. So by having Gemini organize the tasks by technical team, we were able to come back to the table and say, okay, you guys gave us this quote, but what if we internally do 40% of the work? We want to see the number under this. And that completely changed the conversation. So in a contract where, once again, I did not fully understand the technicals of it, I didn't understand all the acronyms, once again, but I knew the goal of what we were trying to get to. And I used Gemini to take that first pass and organize it into domains. And then, of course, I took that to my director, who he has a vast amount of knowledge but limited time. And I was able to have him spot check it. And I have allergies. I know I keep scratching my nose. I'm not picking my nose. It's itching. My nose itches on the nostrils when I get allergies. And I can see my eyes are a little watery. Anywho, he was able to take a sanity check and in 5 minutes say, yes, yes, no, yes. Maybe we can do this, maybe we can't if A, B, and C projects happen. So we came back to the negotiating table, powerful, ready, and at the end of the day, didn't leave any money on the table or pay for something that we honestly didn't need to. So back to the point, organizing data, especially data that's outside of your domain, is a wonderful use of AI. So some example prompts I would say is, I would start with, explain this document to me like I'm a sixth grader. Explain this document to me like I'm a sixth grader. Then I would say, what are the different categories that this information follows into, and print it out to me in a bulleted list. So then you see I summarized the info, and I asked it to organize the data, and I asked it to output it back to me in a certain easy to digest way. So summarize info, generate ideas, organize data. Another thing AI is really, really good at is troubleshooting. So when I say troubleshooting, I mean any of those moments where you're like, I need tech support, I need Geek Squad, I need somebody, I need my nephew, I need my 12-year-old nephew to come fix my phone right now. AI is great for that. So one example is, I have a lot of friends in a lot of different places, and we're actually part of this amazing sister circle, and sometimes we'll hang out on Zoom and watch something together. I was, for some reason, brave enough to offer to do the Zoom, but it was my first time doing it on my new laptop. So when I started sharing the Zoom screen, no one else could see it. And I've never had that issue before on any of the laptops I've used at work or personal. So I was like, I didn't even know where to start. And I just was like, you know what? Hold on, you guys, let me pop in the AI. Microsoft Copilot, we were already on that laptop. I said, hey, I'm trying to share Zoom right now and no one can see the screen. Like, why? It immediately told me, check your settings in Edge, click this, then click that, then click that, then unclick that. I followed the steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, reshared the screen, and it worked. So for the reason this works is because artificial intelligence is, it really goes back to synthesizing data. Any application, any app on your phone or your laptop has this like set of instructions that we call like a knowledge base. Usually you may have to go search the knowledge base or read the articles that they create to try and figure out what's going wrong. When you engage AI to troubleshoot for you, you have the AI reading the entire knowledge base for you and finding the specific answer, even if you don't know what the problem is. You can just say, hey, it's a black screen, like what's going on? And it can go into the knowledge base and it'll say, well, actually your advanced display settings are toggled off. You would have never known to ask that specific question, but the AI went and reverse engineered the answer for you, and it read like 5,000 pages of data in 10 seconds, which you never would have done. So, troubleshooting. At work, I use it for Jira, helping me to configure an entire portfolio of projects for the whole fiscal year and roadmap. Any tool I use it for, really. Jira, Monday, Google. I ask Gemini about Google features all the time. Like, why can't I fix this in my meeting? Where did my notes save? It's got you, like, for sure. And then, like I said, Zoom is a really good one. But even on your phone, if you're an iPhone user, I'm not sure if you guys have AI embedded or what service you have, but I know for me, Gemini is an app on my phone that came downloaded on it. So I'll just say, you know, it has your phone device settings. So you just say, hey, my phone's having issues with A, B, and C. Like, why can I never zoom in when I try to take a good selfie? Like, and it can, and I'm not sure, depending on your phone settings. I don't exactly know how iPhones work because I'm not an iPhone user, but my Gemini creates reminders for me. It schedules things in my calendar for me. It drafts emails. So then it can take the next step and become agentic for you. It can become an agent of what you desire if you so choose. Some things it can't like update the settings for everything. Like when I did the Zoom, it couldn't fix the settings for me, but it could take me there. So it's just really good for troubleshooting anything at all. Okay, so I know those were kind of nebulous, like project management specific and like work specific uses. Well, summarizing and generating ideas really can be for anything. But I also want to bring this down to the level where we talk about everyday things that everyone needs to do. And these are 3 things that has completely changed my life with AI. I use it to help me take care of my plants. I use it for grocery shopping and meal planning. And then I also use it for like my macro tracking. So the idea behind this is to just show you that there's a lot of like very like intense ways you can use it, but anything that there's like an instruction manual for or a set of rules that everyone has to follow, like calorie counting, macro tracking. There's a lot of like nutritional data and information out there that the AI can read for you, so you don't have to do all the research. I use it for. So macro tracking, like I'll literally be like, oh my God, it's 7 p.m. I'm craving tater tots. And I've already had past conversations with AI about my goals. I'm doing a body recomp and a fat loss and detox right now. So it already knows all that, and I'll say, hey, I ate this, this, and this today, and I'm really craving tater tots right now. Is that gonna throw me off track from my goal? And it may even ask me if I've worked out today. It may ask me, it may look at my step counts from my fitness tracker, and it'll tell me like yes or no. And then if it's a no, it'll say, but here are some good crunchy alternatives instead if you're having a craving. Or I'll say, hey, I'm on my Noodle phase and I like absolutely am ravenous for something sweet. Like if I have real ice cream today, which I don't do dairy, But I'll ask it, like, if I have real ice cream today, like, is that going to set me off my goal? And it's like, well, actually, in your luteal phase, it's good to do that because your body needs the extra energy to for your hormones to kick off and all those things. So, meal prep, fitness, macro tracking, calorie tracking, highly 10 out of 10 recommend. It's giving results over here. I told it I want my jawline snatched. You see my jawline coming in? You see my jawline coming in? I told it I want my jawline snatched. I told it 2 months ago, and we've been working hard. And my jawline gonna be here for the summer. So yeah, grocery list, same thing, especially like in this economy. Oh my gosh. So you can say like, hey, I only have $100 for grocery today, but I want to stick to my high protein whole foods diet. What can I buy and where? Because the prices are pricing. I was appalled that last week when I went to the farmer's market, the meat at the farmer's market was cheaper than the meat at the grocery store. And if you're a farmer's market organic girly like me, like, you know that's crazy, because the farmer's market is like you're treating yourself. Well, as far as like where I am in my budget life right now, it's like a treating myself, or this is I'm looking at this as an investment into my future health, as opposed to later on down the line having hundreds of thousands of dollars in health bills. But it's not just a willy-nilly thing. So it was crazy because the farmers market meat was more cost effective than the grocery store meat. So what I'm saying all that to say is, AI, you can literally ask your AI, hey, are there certain days that it's better to shop for certain things at the grocery store? Is there a reason why produce is so much expensive at this grocery store than this one? What's the best place for organic produce? How do I know if meat is high quality? I only have this much budget and I'm trying to feed a family of 3. Please help me with a grocery list and meal prep ideas to get through the week. All of those things, like, AI got you. AI got you. Got you. So that is a list of what AI is good at. It's very great at summarizing information, generating ideas, organizing data, troubleshooting, tech support, geek squad, and then everyday things like plant care. I took a picture of my hydrangeas. My hydrangeas were wilting. Took a picture of them. I told him, hey, I just got these flowers. They're my favorite. They look sad and hungry. What's wrong? And it told me what happened was I really hadn't cut, and I rushed when I cut these. I usually take my time when I arrange my flowers. I was in a rush, and it told me sometimes if you don't cut the stem angle correctly, air bubbles get trapped. I recut them in a few hours. They were sitting up beautiful again. So plant care, grocery list, meal prep, macros, all those things are great for AI. Okay, we're getting a little bit long in time, so let's go through the things that AI is not so good at, because this is where you get into the cycle of now you're starting to waste your day, your time, because you're trying to use AI. And the reason is that because you're actually trying to use it for something it's not good for. So remember, if you couldn't finish something without using AI in the time that you've been banging your head trying to figure out how to get AI to do it, just go ahead and do it on your own and set aside some time. Maybe ask AI later, why wasn't that able to get done the way I needed it to get done? But the things that AI is bad at: drawing conclusions. There's a very alarming pattern right now where people are entering into AI relationships. This is extremely alarming to me because AI's deductive reasoning capacity is extremely limited. So what does that mean? If A plus B equals C, what is C minus B? A. AI is not good at things like that. And I know that it can sound like, what? That's so simple. And maybe not that one per se, before someone goes and types it into ChatGPT and shows me, like, hey, it did it. I get it. Maybe not that exact example, but there have been scientific studies shown where they're testing the limits of AI, and it's very bad with things like context. So let's say you feed the AI a series of facts, um, and as a human, it may not be in the list of facts, but you can realize, like, oh well, if that those two things happen, then this other thing had to have happened first. AI can't fill in the had to have happened first. It only has what you give it, and it only gives you back what has been given to it. Uh, it's a predictive model, so it's trying to guess what's most likely the right answer, and it can only use that based off what it's been given, not based off pieces that it doesn't have. So, like the example from the study was, there were these two machine learning, like, doctorate students, and they tried a simple tell AI a story task. Well, they told AI a story, something like, I lost my ball. Um, I lost my ball. I went down the street looking for it. Someone found it, and then I went back home. So in that example, the AI, if you ask the AI, like, who probably found the ball? Well, as a human, you'd be like, oh, okay, maybe like your neighbor. You're going down your street and the ball rolled down the street. Like, the most likely person to find the ball is a neighbor who, like, lives down the street. The AI can't answer that. Or if you ask it, okay, well, what happened after I found the ball? Well, it's like, you probably played with your ball, like, been looking for it. You're probably playing with it before, and that's how you lost it. And you're probably happy to have it back. So you're probably gonna play with your ball, or like go have dinner. Like, just thinking things through from like a human experience standpoint, AI is not able to do that. So that's what I mean by drawing conclusions, and I really want to give a disclaimer and hope that people don't try to use it for things that would be like a human conversation instead.